How you doing, everybody? This is Sal Valentinetti from America's Got Talent, and you're listening to the Growing Up Italian podcast.
What is up, everybody? This is the Growing Up Italian podcast, and we have return guests, Sal Valentinetti.
How you doing, guys?
Alongside with Rocco.
Yo.
You guys know Rocco, too. Great to have you again, Sal. It's been a while.
Great to be here, Sabino.
So,
smile that lights up the world. Man. Look at that.
Exactly. Look at that. For those of you that don't know, we've done a podcast with Sal a long time ago. And it was actually the first time we've ever met him. He literally showed up, sat down, had a great interview, went out to eat after. Mm-hmm. Since then, the rest is history.
The rest is history. We became really, really good friends. I love these guys. Really, I'm singing at Rocco's wedding.
That's how close it is.
That's right.
That's how close it is. But yeah, it's been a great journey, man. You just recently moved to Florida full time.
That's right.
So I haven't been seeing you as much as you moved in October. So,
and it's before anybody starts. It has nothing to do with the crime rate in New York going up. I decided that if I'm going to be stuck anywhere, I want to be stuck someplace where there's palm trees and a swimming pool nearby.
I don't blame you.
You know what I mean? So we
But just
love
a side note, since I know you,
Yeah.
I will say this one thing, that you've always loved Florida. So
I've always hated the winter.
Exactly.
I've either run to Florida or California to get away from it.
Exactly.
Year after year.
Exactly.
You say it every time.
I just don't like the cold.
If anything, you became a premature snowbird.
It's crazy because I'm the size of a polar bear, but I hate the winter.
The scarf is because he's cold, not because he's going for a look here.
That's right. It's my blood has thinned out, and my breasts have grown, so now I have the scarf on. But other than that, things are going great.
Don't worry about it. So, you know what they say in our town? Chi tiene panza tiene grianza.
That's right. That's right.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
That's
Sabino
right.
knows. Sabino knows.
So it's great. Sal pulled up today, and literally the second I saw him, I put him to work. I'm like, let's do a TikTok. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah.
If you haven't, go check it out. It's hilarious.
That was a lot of fun.
But
that was a lot of fun.
You just recently made a TikTok too. So
I made a TikTok. Now, I am not anywhere near the roster of talent that you guys have on the Growing Up Italian TikTok.
I think you're more than capable.
I am an amateur, as they say. You know,
You're learning.
I'm learning. We're getting there. I really enjoyed that one.
It was like the perfect storm because we were going to get some stuff, some prosciutto, some mozzarella before we did this, and Rosaria happened to be there. So I was like, you know what? Let me get a TikTok too. Because I'm the content guy.
That's a good point. So this whole thing came about because of something that Rocco said. He said, we never get to business. It's always all this personal conversation. All this we had to I think Italians are the only culture that has to eat a meal before we get down to business.
Yeah.
You know, we got to break bread. We got to make sure that everyone is nice, calm, and fed before we get down to it.
That's like the icebreaker.
He called me earlier today. What do you want to eat? When I was on the exit ramp for Mika, he called me. He said, what do you want to eat? I walk in, he goes, let me get you something to eat. Right? Now, the first two phone calls, I said I wasn't hungry. By the third one, he had mentioned food so many times that I was all of a sudden hungry again.
Just gotta get a little something.
So what better than a TikTok about going to get a little bit of food and getting carried away?
Yeah, it's funny because we just posted a Italian rule Sunday. Every Sunday we post a rule in the Italian world or just a general rule. And this past one was allow social conversation to pass before mentioning business. Meanwhile, Sabino saw Sal for the first time in a few months, and he's like, "Yo, let's go, let's do a TikTok. Come on."
That's right. So
but if you look at that meme, I literally commented. "How you doing? Where's my money?"
Exactly. It's crazy, but I think this is how we got to operate from now on. We got to get all of what we have to get done that day done first. Because then we're going to be, eating and bullshitting for the whole rest of the day.
Well, I want to be honest. I saw you were in town, and right away I called you. I'm like, all right, I need to follow up, and I need to promote your album.
That's
I'm like,
right.
Right away, I'm like, you're here. You know, that's my job as your friend to do it. You got to be on my platform, and I made sure you came before you left. Before we get into the album, you're also now a dog dad.
I am.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
I am a fur dad, even though he's got hair. So I put in an application to adopt a dog when the whole pandemic started, as did, I guess, the rest of the country, because I was on a 1.5 year waiting list, because I needed something that was small enough to travel, because I travel a lot for work, and hypoallergenic, because I'm allergic to fur, right? So I put in this list, and I completely forgot about it. And I'm scrolling through Facebook, and I see a friend of mine, this woman Patty, had gotten a dog for another friend of mine, Maria Venuto. You guys know Angelo Venuto, right?
Angelo's daughter,
Yeah.
Legend.
A little Yorkie puppy named, of course, Noki, right? So I see this and I go, how? Like they adopted him. I said, how? She said, well, this woman had a litter of puppies in Brooklyn, and they were a little young, and they need a little help. So I said, okay, what are they? She goes, they're Yorkies. Now, I know Yorkies to be, a little yip dog,
It's
biting
always
at
a
the
little
heels and
icy
everything.
as hell. Yeah, I know.
This little pocketbook dog, and I'm thinking, I really want a dog, and I'm not gonna have this opportunity probably for a while. I said, let's do it. Let's go get the dog. So we pick him up. He's got no teeth, right?
How old was he?
He was 5.5, 6 weeks, 6 weeks old.
Yeah.
Way too
Usually
young.
It's like 8
Little
weeks,
pup.
right? You get a puppy.
There was an issue with the mother and everything, so they had to let them go young. So the first few days were a little touch and go. I was feeding him with a syringe and everything, and making sure that he was growing right. Within a week, he had teeth. Within 2 weeks, he stopped peeing on the rug. And
That's pretty good.
Within a couple of months, as soon as we moved down to Florida, every person that walks by our front door
knows him.
Well, he puts on this bark, right? He's 8. He's
God.
grown now. He's 6 months old. He's 8 pounds. So he's actually going to be a pretty big Yorkie. He's going to be like 14 pounds. Pretty big.
What are you feeding him, cuz?
Prosciutto mozzarella.
That's the other thing. The food that I got to order for this dog, right? One day we got him the wrong food, and we had to we had to get on Chewy and see if we can get the right food by the next day, and we forgot to order groceries. So this dog's eating better than me, right? But
how's it walking? How's it working as far as walking? Are you doing it? Is Gianna doing it?
So
does he pee on his own?
So we just started doing walking because he is so young. He just got his last round of shots, and Gianna took him, and he's tough. He acts tough, right? He'll bark at a dog, and then when you put him down on the floor,
he
right?
stops.
All bark, no bite.
He curls back and tries climbing up your leg.
He's like, no, I really don't want to do this.
Yeah, whoa. I didn't know we were going this far with it. But
it's like me.
But he's a good watchdog. If there's anything going on outside, it's Miami. It's a party town. There's people up all night. If there's any commotion going on, he's right there. He makes sure to wake me up by barking uncontrollably so that I can go and assess the situation. So he's a good watchdog.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Walking's going good. The only trouble is, now, of course, he's a male dog. His name's Figgy, by the way. He's a male dog. And
that's also in honor of your friend.
That's
passed
right.
Away.
That's right. I had a friend.
R.I.P. to
R.I.P. to Albie Figueretto, one of Boston's finest bookmakers in all the land. So anyway, Figgy, this just past week, I put him down. He walks over to the wall and lifts his leg. This is new. He's never done this before. He peed on the pad. Everything was fine. But now he's lifting his leg. So I go on to the Yorkie Dad forum on Facebook.
You gotta Sal the Voice 15. That's his.
You gotta be a part of it. If you want the right information. These people are nuts about these dogs. So anything that could possibly go wrong, these people are gonna know, right?
It's kind of like a Reddit or Ask Jeeves kind of thing where.
Right. I wasn't expecting them to tell me that it's time, to do the deed.
Oh, shit. You did that?
I didn't do it yet. I feel bad. Like, I don't know. And then, you look on North Shore Animal League and they tell you got to do it.
Well,
and
it changes their personality a lot.
Yeah, but, the poor guy. I wouldn't want someone coming over and,
Well, we should
deal off.
Right? Oh.
That's the one thing you can't take away from me.
That's right. He's got such a deep bark for a little dog, and I'm afraid that if we do it too soon,
there it goes.
That's right. His pitch might go up. And then what? These people aren't going to be scared of him. They're gonna sing with me. I'll kick it off the balcony if anything happens. He's not gonna sound like Cujo no more.
That's great.
Behind the door, you don't know what the dog is.
That's right. He's got a like a deep growl.
He sounds
Could be a Rottweiler. Yeah.
That's right. Sounds like an 8-pound Rottweiler. You're thinking, oh, I don't want to mess with this. But now, I don't know. So it's tough. It's tough being a Yorkie dad. It's tough being a fur dad. You got to make decisions for somebody that can't talk. These days where parents are trying to let the kids decide, what gender they want to be, at least they could tell you. The dog, if I'm about to do this, he's looking at me. He's thinking, we're going to the park. And I'm looking at him like, sorry, pal, we're not going to the park today. And I got to live with that decision. It's tough. It's rewarding, but it's tough.
Yeah. Nah, it definitely is. So, like we said at the meme, we talked about, some fun stuff.
We got that out of the way.
Now it's time to talk about some business
That's
stuff.
right.
Sal the Voice, Sal Valentinetti, My Little Valentine, out now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we spoke about this so many times.
That's right.
About the fact of your style of music, that big band.
That's right.
Making it work to an album. So this is your third studio album.
Yep.
And your best one.
This is it's incredible work what was done here. I'm not discrediting the work that was done on the albums prior, but I mean we really pulled it out. The arranger, Glenn Morissette from Family Guy, Woody Woodruff, who's a multi-Grammy Award-winning engineer.
I just want to go back. Guys, the guy that made the jingle for Family Guy.
Well, he did the arrangements. He did the arrangements on most of the. So Family Guy utilizes the big band a lot. They have a big band in studio.
Transitions
right.
and stuff. Yeah.
And people need to those songs are basically original songs. And so these guys are given a tune, and then have to take that tune and write in all the parts for all the horns, for all the strings, for the drums, for the bass, for the piano. All those parts need to be written in. And it's a really incredible task because you're basically taking something, you're basically thinking of what are the saxes doing here? What are the horns doing here? How is this shout going to go? What tempo should this be at? How should I instruct, what rhythm should this be? How do we instruct the rhythm section to, it's a whole thing. It's very complicated. You basically need to know all of these instruments, have a good understanding of how they could be played, and then translating that onto paper for, in this case, 34 pieces, 34 different instruments, 34 different parts.
We were talking about before how hard it is to read music.
Yeah.
Like when you're looking at music.
I can't really read music. I'm kind of embarrassed to say.
And he does it for a living.
But I'm not too proud to say, like, okay, I want to do a record. Let me, over the last 4 years at least, let me align myself with, some people who have, expertise in this field, some people who are really, really talented at doing all these different things, because I'm not. And so, Glenn Morissette actually played for me on a gig in Carlsbad, California at the, it was a big corporate thing down by San Diego. And the sax player was running late for a sound check. I'm going to Dave Damiani, who actually produced the record. My good friend Dave Damiani is another vocalist out of Los Angeles. And he knows all these cats. And so I'm going to him, where is this guy? And he goes, well, he's got an old Volkswagen. And it broke down on the 405 freeway. And I'm going, old Volkswagen? Yeah, he drives this old Volkswagen. I said, okay, is he going to make it? And he said, no, yeah, he's going to make it. I said, but doesn't we need to see the arrangement? No, he knows the arrangements. He knows the arrangements, right? Just kind of like blew it off like that. Glenn shows up for the gig. You know, very, very smart guy. I was talking to him about his van, and we're talking about Volkswagens and everything. And then to hear him play, I mean, just flawless on the saxophone. Really incredible guy. Read down the arrangements like it was nothing. Almost like he had seen them before.
So how long did it take to get all these like instrumentals done?
So September, let's just the arrangements alone. September, I had the idea to finish this record that I had actually started while I was living out in LA in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you know, right as we were starting to get the tunes together for Glenn to arrange, we were shut down. I had to come back to New York. It was a whole thing. Whole pandemic, whole 2020.
You drove cross county.
I drove to California.
I drove twice.
I drove to Well, no, not twice. I drove to.
Oh, it is the second time you shipped.
I broke my leg, so I drove to California in last February because I thought I'm going to be out there till at least late April to finish this record. Right. The beginning of March was my last gig before the country shut down, before the world shut down, in Port St. Lucie, Florida, and I fractured my ankle. So now I have a boot on my leg.
I remember that, yeah.
The country, now the following weekend, I have a gig at Herb Albert's Club, the Vibrato, right in Beverly Hills. And it's about to get canceled because the country's shutting down. And I'm saying, well, if this gets canceled, I'm going to go home, right? Because that means everything's shut down for at least a couple of months. What's the point? We'll do this again some other time. So the world gets shut down, and I drive around in my truck for about an hour, and my ankle is throbbing, and I say, I can't do this. So the next day, I call a transport service, and I said, listen, I need somebody to pick up my truck in the Valley, in Studio City, North Hollywood area, and take it back to New York for me. And the lady on the phone was like, when? Monday. Oh, no, we can't get somebody that quick. Listen, I'll tell you what, I'll call around and I'll let you know. I get called back right away. This Armenian guy from Long Island City is a truck driver, right? And he's trying to get back home before the country shuts down, right? And I'm going to him. I go, can you come pick up my car Monday? He goes, I'm leaving Monday. You got to be there Monday. I said, fine. This was Sunday. Sunday night, I packed my entire apartment into the truck. Monday morning, I put my truck on their truck, sent it home. I flew home that afternoon, and that was it. So now it's September. After the summer, we actually got to do a couple of shows. Since March, the entertainment industry, the live entertainment industry, has been completely crippled by this pandemic, and it still is. Even though some people have been able to make a comeback in some way or another, we have not at all. So the summer we had a couple of shows, limited capacity. I said I want to get these musicians working. I want to get people out there, and I want to put music. I just want to get out of the house and do what I love again. So we did a couple of them, and then we got shut back down. In the same time, we recorded some stuff for Get in the Car. And I came off this high. And all of a sudden, I felt like as soon as everything was canceled again, and as soon as the world kind of fell back down into this, come September, October, I felt sort of that depression again, being deprived of the thing I love the most. And I thought to myself, what do I want to do right now? Do I want to...
I feel like you kind of feel this in this album because I mean you have the original song Without Love, amazing song.
Yeah.
So give us a little of that story because that's the original song on this project.
And before you start that, I was really excited to listen to it because me and Sabino always said like we need a Sal original.
Yeah.
You sing all these great classics. We always wanted a Sal original. I know a lot of your fans wanted one. So take us through that
and
thought
also,
process.
it was kind of a surprise album too.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I was like, what the hell? He released the album. I thought you were trying to be like pushing a calendar, like My Little Valentine. All of a sudden,
honestly, I felt so depressed, and I didn't want to let myself fall into this kind of black hole that I guess a lot of us got sucked into this year. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do something I want to do. I'm going to make a record with music that I love. And so I called Dave Damiani, who produced the record. He happened to be in Atlantic City the day I called him. And I said, I'm getting in the car. and I'm coming to meet you at your house. And he goes, why? I said, we're finishing the record. He goes, what? I said, we're finishing the record.
That's great, man.
I get in the car. I make a 3-hour drive in 2.5, right? Listen,
Speeding.
when you drive a grandma Cadillac with white walls, the cops, the Jersey troopers, they don't want to pull over someone's grandmother, so they let you go, right? So I get down there 2.5, and I say, we're going to do the record. And he goes, okay. I said, do you think we can get the studio? He goes, I'm going to try. Do you think we can get a band? He goes, how big? I said, I want a big band. He goes, 34-piece orchestra. We'll do strings. We'll do horns. We'll get Glenn Morissette to arrange it. You know, we'll get Lyman Medeiros. We'll get Gary Matsumoto. We'll get Woody Woodruff. You know, 2-time Grammy Award-winning engineer.
This is all in a day?
We dreamt this up in about 4.5 hours.
Jesus.
We sat
Christ.
there, and then we decided this is the music we're going to do. And he goes, are you going to put an original song on here? And I said, sure I am. See, in 2018, I met with a songwriting team, Lisa Ives and R. Keith Swanson. And they're the songwriting team. She's in Massachusetts, he's in Jersey. And they write the type of music that I sing. They write standards, but brand new music, new tunes and new lyrics. And we're going through all this music at the Ohika Castle in Long Island. We got the room with the grand piano and all of that. And we're going through all this music, and we get to this song Without Love, and I start singing it, and I go, whoa. This is a song about pain. And any song that refers to a great deal of pain should have the same kind of cadence, the same kind of ballad sound as a song that deals with love. Because pain is the only human emotion that's equal to love. For as much as we love someone, we hurt when they go away. Whether it's a breakup or like this year, losing someone. Well, like any year losing someone, but especially this year when either you're losing someone to COVID or you can't grieve that person because you can't come together as a family. And we as Italians, we know how that is. So, we go through all this pain, and I said, let's slow it down. And I sang the song through, and we get to the end, and I was so moved by the lyrics that I had to walk out. I was about to cry. I walk outside. I give myself a minute because, these people are meeting you for the first time. You want them to see you crying? Like, what the hell's the matter with this guy?
Right.
That shows the passion, though, of the record,
I come back inside, and his name's Rich. Richard's crying. And, and I'm going, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And they go to me, they go, Sal, that song is about Richard losing his wife to cancer. And he couldn't personify those feelings. It's such a, when you lose the love of your life so tragically, happy endings have ended. All my prayers unattended, though sometimes I pretended my heart could be mended, what good would that do without love? So in other words, people were trying to make him feel better about this horrible tragedy and trying to piece his broken heart back together. But he's saying, what good is a fixed broken heart, a mended heart, without someone to love on the other end of it? And this song was so powerful. I didn't even tell them. This was 2 years ago. 3 years ago. Well, 3 years ago now. I didn't even tell Lisa and Richard that I was going to do this song. I just had Glenn arrange it. He made a beautiful arrangement with the strings, and we went in and recorded it, and it came out so beautiful. It really, really did. And then I sent it to them. I remember we were recording the vocals. So we did the record at East West Studios, which is a famous studio in Hollywood. It's Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby used to have a partnership in it. Everything Frank Sinatra did on Reprise, that was his own label. That's Life, Fly Me to the Moon.
Speaking of which,
My Way.
You did My Way on this album too.
That's right.
Your own version.
I was waiting for this for so long.
And
I
know a lot of people were.
I'm so
and
glad
that's why like I said, you know what, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I didn't even tell.
You did it your way.
Very important piece aside. I didn't even tell my mother that I was recording this record because I knew even she would have something to say about it. And I said, I'm not letting anyone decide what I do on this record.
You had your gut feeling, and you had that creative.
See, my mother was so proud without telling me. This is how she would tell me. She would never tell me. My mother throws compliments around like manhole covers, but that's how she keeps us in line.
Great line.
So, my mother, this is how she would say she's proud of me. Don't put my way on a record because that's like that. It was such a moving experience for her to be there when I did that on AGT. That she thought like it was so special.
You performed on AGTV.
It was so special to save it for the live show that people should come and witness this, And I said, no, I want to put it on the.
You're like, I don't know when they're gonna witness it.
That's right. I don't know when that. Like
at this point,
exactly. I said, I'm doing this for me. I don't know when the next time I'm gonna perform is. Let me do this. And so in the studio where Sinatra recorded that, we did it.
Oh, that's legendary.
Yeah.
That's
a great story, bro. That's a great story.
And it was such an incredible thing. So the arrangements.
Did you feel Frank Sinatra's like spirit when you?
Honestly, no. I'll tell you what. I felt the occasion of Sinatra, Madonna, Michael Jackson, John Legend just earlier that day recording in the same studio that I was about to record my record in. But I'm getting a little, about an hour into it, when I first heard these incredible musicians run through these arrangements that were crafted just so beautifully, I felt more of the presence of my grandmother, of my Uncle Joe, of the people
who introduced that music to you.
Yeah, and who encouraged me to take it to the next level. And even though my parents are still with us, I felt even my mother's energy, kind of that voice in my head saying, don't leave anything unfinished. Make sure it's the way you want it. Don't be afraid to speak up. Because the band was so incredible, because Woody Woodruff is so incredible, because Dave Damiani, because Glenn Morissette are so incredible, we finished the tracking, 12 tracks, in about 5.5 hours.
That's unheard of.
Wow.
That's unheard of.
What was that, one take?
It was two takes per song, except for Beautiful Girls, because Beautiful Girls is a Van Halen tune, and no one's ever done it with a big band. Yeah. And it's so nuts. It's almost like a marching band feel. And it was so incredibly, not complicated in the sense that it was difficult for the musicians to read, but complicated in the sense that it was so, intense that we had to do it a third take.
So when's this movie coming out of that day?
Well, the video's on my Instagram, Sal the Voice, and Facebook, Sal the Voice. You could watch it. I'm probably going to repost it again just because now that people have heard it and they can go back and look at that, like, whoa.
Give a story behind it, too.
And then Dave Damiani and I, we did the vocals. I mean, I can't tell you, 4 hours a song just going back. I want to fix this. I want to fix this. I want to fix this. Going back and going over and making it better and choosing new melody, choosing new directions, because I'm not covering these songs to sound like anybody else. I'm singing them to show the world what I got.
Yeah.
Love
it. Own rhetoric of the songs.
But what I've kind of built within me as a performer for the last, 4 years.
This is a perfect segue to what I wanted to say, too, is the Louis Prima. I mean, you said it, a couple people perform a song, but Just a Gigolo.
Yeah.
When I think of that, I think of prime Louis Prima.
That's right.
And you have your own version of that in this album too, which I loved.
So, Just a Gigolo, I Ain't Got Nobody, right?
Go ahead.
Ain't got nobody. Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Classic. When I hear that song, I think of like Our Lady of Mount Carmel Feast, like Sausage and Peppers, Zeppeli.
So
Sabino
you have
the Voice.
Louis Prima with that famous, because Louis Prima was such a jazz cat. This is what people don't realize. New Orleans jazz was something that was primarily developed in these clubs, in these places where a lot of working class people hung out, and there's a lot of Italians in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So Louis Prima's around all this,
especially years ago.
Yeah, Louis Prima's around all this serious jazz, and you got humble is Billy, humble is Billy, humble is Billy, humble bop. I ain't got nobody. It's very, very swinging and hip. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then when you think about New Orleans, you can't think about New Orleans jazz without thinking about Louis Armstrong. Mm-hmm. Oh, what a wonderful world.
Of course, yeah.
Legend.
And when Louis Armstrong did that same tune, Just a Gigolo, it was very, almost somber, almost sad. I'm just a gigolo, and everywhere I go, people know the part I'm playing. Everywhere I go, people know I'm a man whore. When the end comes, I know there. What is it? At the end, it goes. There will come a day when youth will pass away. What will they say about me when I get old? When the end comes, I know they'll say just a gigolo. Life goes on without me. Like, how sad is that? Life goes on without me. And Louis Armstrong kind of slowed it down. Yeah. So we did the beginning kind of like a nod to Louis Armstrong with this beautiful kind of like serenade of the horns, this beautiful horn verse up front. And then we kick the drums, and then we swing it with that killing horn. The horns and the sax is like a freight train. Ba-da-ba-da-ba, I ain't got nobody, like Louis Prima. Mm-hmm. So
classic, bro. I loved it. And then also the Rags to Riches. I mean, if you watch any mobster movie,
that's one of my favorite songs.
That one was like, these songs. When I was listening to your album, I'm like, this is amazing, man. Like,
thank you.
Because it's like timeless music. Like when I hear this album, it's the kind of album that when your mother's like making Sunday sauce, you play this.
Yeah, 100%.
And you're like listening.
Well, that's what I thought. Like, what music, A, was I brought up on, and B, what I like to sing, and how I'd like to hear it. I've been playing for 4 years now with Black Tie Brass in New York. Fabulous. Great guys. I
met them when we did that stuff with LePic.
And when they did their arrangement of Rags to Riches, it was very kind of like the popular one. And then I kind of liked what they were doing. They were doing almost like a New Orleans jazzy type of shout in the middle of the song. And I loved it so much that I said, I want to do basically a New Orleans jazz style Rags to Riches, and kind of pay a little more homage in that way to the town, and where a lot of great jazz came out of, to the town that brought up Louis Prima and Louis Armstrong, and inspired guys like David Lee Roth when he was singing Beautiful Girls, which is also on the record. And so you get this really jazzy, raw version of Rags to Riches out of that. And I just when I did this record, it especially for crooners, it's very tough to do a record and not kind of, go with the very ballady, soft tones like a Bing Crosby, right? Because Frank Sinatra even said it himself. Bing Crosby taught us all how to sing, how to croon. And I said, I've kind of built this way of getting out of my comfort zone when I perform, that when I do this record, I want to do it like I'm performing it, like I'm at a club and I got this killer band behind me. And so, I did music that I like to perform, and Rags to Riches is one of them. And then music that I just like in general, like Beautiful Girls by Van Halen, an 80s.
With a big band.
Yeah, a killing rock band. And, we made this decision to do this song before Eddie Van Halen had passed. But how cool is it to take those riffs and, transform them into something an 18-piece band, 19-piece band could play. It came out so, I'm so proud of it. I really, really am. I'm so excited about it.
We're so proud of you, bro, because you came a long way.
So as some of you may know, last week we started a new segment on our podcast called Give Me a Break. So on this segment, we shout out small businesses to shine some light on them and give them a break after all that they've been experienced through these rough times. For this week, we got Frost Street Restaurant located on 193 Frost Street in Brooklyn, New York. Frost Street Restaurant has been a neighborhood staple for over 62 years. They opened up in 1959, and they immediately became the neighborhood restaurant to go to. They provide the local community with some of the very best Italian cuisine. My personal favorite that they have is the fried calamari and, of course, the pork braciole. Make sure you guys go check them out. And, of course, Sabino and Sal did a nice little segment after this episode, so go pay them a visit and support them as well. So hope you enjoy the next video.
Sabino, Sal the Voice. We're here. We're supporting local businesses. This is Lil Mo Mozzarella's Save New York Challenge, and we're eating local tonight. Takeout. Listen, New York City restaurants are at 25%. They're making people eat outside in the slush and snow. Have taxi cabs about to hit them. Well, we just did a podcast, and we said, you know what? We're going to get some takeout from one of the best restaurants in Williamsburg, Frost. You don't know about it? Hit you over the head with the semolina. Check this out. We got veal ossobuco. What's that? What do you got?
Veal alla casa.
Beautiful.
We're gonna eat good tonight.
That's right. That's
Save
right.
New York. Support your local businesses. Before we wrap this up, when we were like sitting down, before we started recording, you told me a great story about that song with I Can't Give You Anything But Love.
Yeah.
With the guy
Jimmy Mchugh. He wrote the song. So Jimmy Mchugh wrote I Can't Give You Anything But Love among a lot of other tunes. Make sure you Google him. Jimmy Mchugh, a famous New Yorker. It was right after the stock market crash in, what is it, 29 or something like that? The Great Depression.
The Great Depression.
The Big
The
Depression.
late 20s, yeah.
Anyway, and he's observing this couple walking past Tiffany's, and the girl points in the window and she goes, "Oh my God, how I'd love for you to buy me that diamond ring," because this guy was a big stockbroker and had just lost everything. You know, and these stockbroker types, they lose and then they get it back, you know, the next week. And he goes, "Listen,
next month, whatever,
this time next month, I'll buy you that diamond ring. But for right now, baby, I can't give you anything but love." And Jimmy Mchugh went back and wrote this beautiful song, this beautiful tune. And among a lot of others, his grandson, Lee Newman, runs his entire catalog, right? It's a lot of music. It's a lot of movies, scores, and everything like that. And he came and saw me through Dave Damiani. He's a friend of Dave's. He came and saw me at the
Shout
Vibrato.
out to Dave Damiani, though, man.
He's a solid guy.
Let's give him a shout out.
Listen, he's a South Jersey guy, but he's still a good guy, you know?
Good guy. He's a good guy.
Dave, I don't care what anyone
He's
says
with
about
us.
you. I don't care what
He's
anyone
with
says
me.
about you. You're with me. No, I'm kidding. But so Dave brings him down to my show at the Vibrato in Beverly Hills, and he hears it, he loves it, right? Comes to Catalina, comes to all these different clubs, and we recorded the song. We sent it to him. I Can't Give You Anything But Love. He calls Dave about 5 minutes later. We were leaving. I was leaving to come back to Florida, right? I was done with the record. I was going to go home. And he calls us up. He goes, "Where are you guys?" "Well, we're about to head out to the airport." He goes, "Don't worry if Sal misses his flight. I'll buy him a new one. I want to buy you dinner. I want to take you out to dinner." And we sat there and we talked about his grandfather. And that's when he told me this story. You know.
I love to hear that.
Yo, bro, I'm so proud of your progress. The way you've brought your career to another level. This is by far your best work. We're all behind you, whatever you need. For all of you that are listening to this, please check this out. If you do not feel the emotion of this album by our conversation, I don't know what you feel. Because for me,
the first time I listened to My Way, because I had recorded My Way, and then we just put it in the can. All the other ones, I actually got some rough copies of to listen to as soon as I got back, so I could show G, so I can send them to my mom and say, look what I've been up to.
Yeah, get some feedback.
So I can send them to Lisa and Rich, and I hadn't heard My Way until the album was done. So the first time anyone else heard My Way, I heard My Way. And I was driving back from Orlando, and I had a show up there. And My Way comes on, and I hear it the first time through, and all that emotion comes back, And it was just like, man, through what could have been the worst year of my life thus far, not being able, not having something I love doing stripped from me, witnessing such horror like we have this year, It was so, what could have been the worst year ended up being the best moment to hear that recorded, to hear it cemented. You know, we were talking before this about, you know, how actors, their movies are their posterity. Their movies are their legacy. You know, artists, their paintings, their sculpture is their legacy.
And what lives forever.
This music is my legacy. And so to have My Way, and to have this song Without Love, and to have I'm a Fool to Want You that Frank Sinatra wrote for Ava Gardner, to have When I'm 64, Beatles tune. Sabino didn't even know it was a Beatles tune. You hear about that?
I only know the Beatle hits.
So
I mean, even though that's a hit, but I only know the super hits.
to have so many great songs, you know, Just a Gigolo, Rags to Riches, I Can't Give You Anything But Love, Walking My Baby Back Home, Nat King Cole tune, you know, paying tribute to even black artists. To have that as my legacy is something I'm super proud of.
You should be, though.
I'm super proud of that. And I'm proud. I'm happy to have the friends that I have in Los Angeles who are able to get this done. I'm happy to have, you know, friends like you guys to come on here and talk about it. And, you know,
we're definitely going to promote it. If anybody, whoever could afford to purchase the album, please do so. And if you can't, stream it on anywhere you could stream music.
Yeah.
It's
Either or. The more streams it gets, listen. The goal, I'm gonna talk business side of it. The goal of producing your own music and taking the risks that I do is that a label's gonna come by and buy the masters and promote it. And so they could be a part of it, and they could, you know, really push it. And the way to do that is you get those streaming numbers up. So buy it if you can, like Sabino said, but definitely go and stream it. Play it in your car. Let it go on repeat.
Cook some Sunday sauce.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Make sure it's on
right.
repeat when you're sleeping. You know?
Right, and enjoy it. My Little Valentine is the literal translation of my last name.
Yep,
It's what
I
it
love
means
it.
in Italian,
No, it's
Valentinetti.
perfect. It's perfect.
And it's kind of my gift to not only my fans, but fans of America's Got Talent, fans of Heidi Klum's. How you doing?
How you doing?
Fans of Gianna's Chicken Cutlets.
Especially the keto ones.
And fans of Growing Up Italian and the like. So go and enjoy it.
There's no better way to end it than that. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to check out My Little Valentine.
Love
Sal
you guys.
Valentine.
Check it out.
Love
Thank
you
you,
too,
Sal.
pal.
Thank you, Sal.
Thank you guys.
Ciao.